16 exotic foods that can actually kill you. Welcome, Hapthies! Today's video is going to be really interesting. It's all about the food that tastes awesome but may end up killing you actually. Yes, you heard that right. You may go in for the exotic sensory taste experience, but the serious harm these foods can cause may have you want to run from them as far as possible. Woody Allen once said, "Why does man kill? He kills for food." And as strange as it may sound, there is a long list of exotic foods that can kill you. They are great in taste, but pose serious health hazards. Many of them contain toxic substances that can hamper normal human body functions and even lead to death. Let us delve into the topic to discuss more details about these foods that you should avoid, or at least eat with caution if you do not want them to harm you. Blowfish. Also known as pufferfish or fugu, this Asian delicacy is perhaps one of the most dangerous foods in the world. This fish balloons itself up when it senses danger, and most species also contain spines to protect themselves against predators. However, their most lethal mechanism to fight danger is a deadly poison, a neurotoxin basically called tetrodotoxin, which is present in the fish's internal organs. It needs a lot of training and special regulation for the chefs to be able to separate the toxic internal portions from the meat before it is safe for human consumption. One tiny mistake at the chef's end, and the person who eats it can die instantly, actually. This is the reason why the cooking of this fish is very heavily monitored in Asian countries, especially Japan. Stonefish. When we talk about fish, there is another supremely venomous one, an extremely deadly sea creature, the stonefish. The fish has spines and venom sacs that can instantly kill a person if they just step on it accidentally. This is the way this fish protects itself against underwater predators. However, it is considered a delicacy and is served in some Japanese restaurants as akoza sushi. Like that of the blowfish, Stonefish's preparation is also very critical and needs proper training and expertise. Blowfish can be deadly for the eater if the chef makes a mistake. But in Stonefish's case, the danger factor increases for the chef because they can kill themselves if they accidentally poke the fish's venomous sacs while preparing. Sonaki. Also known as live baby octopus, this is also an Asian delicacy, most famous in South Korea. Those who eat it and survive say that it is actually very delicious. However, the food is pretty risky because it is an alive wriggling octopus that is entering you. The reason why it is a dangerous food is that the tentacles of the octopus have suction cups on them, and since the octopus is not dead, there is a chance that while passing through your throat, the octopus's tentacles may lodge against the walls, sticking the baby octopus in your throat and presenting a serious choking hazard. Many people have died because of this, but still, this dish is famous for its flavor, and its danger just adds more thrill to it for adventurous people out there. Ackee. Fruits are good for your health, and we know that most of them present their best flavors when they are completely ripe. But for the Ackee fruit, ripeness is a mandatory factor. If eaten unripe, this Jamaican national fruit can cause a serious vomiting sickness. Ackee fruit contains a toxic substance that causes this sickness. When the fruit ripens, it splits open, and that is when it is safe to eat. However, its seeds still remain toxic and should be completely avoided. Blood clams. Many people enjoy blood clams that are famous for their red-colored hemoglobin-containing liquid. However, despite being tasty, they can pose serious health hazards like hepatitis A, dysentery, typhoid, or other gastrointestinal problems if they are caught from waters that are infested with all types of bacteria and viruses. Blood clams are present in environments where oxygen levels are pretty low. They filter around 40 liters of seawater daily, and so they are more likely to absorb the bacteria and viruses than many other sea creatures. Their regular preparation involves them boiling in hot water for a very brief period. This is often not enough to kill all those microorganisms that can harm a person who eats them. Kasum Marsu. If you love cheese, you may end up getting disgusted after learning about this one that we are going to discuss now. Well, Kasum Marsu is a sheep milk cheese that is carefully made to rot first. Flies lay eggs, and the rotting cheese is kept in a dark cell for a couple of months until the eggs hatch and the larvae are produced. Then, when the cheese is full of maggots, it is then eaten during celebrations. These maggots may get killed when the eater chews on them or during the digestion process, but some of them may survive and still find a home in the consumer's digestive tract. This can make the consumer of this cheese very sick in the long run, with bloody diarrhea, vomiting, and other serious gastrointestinal disturbances. The European Union has banned its consumption because of its health hazards, but it is still prepared in Sardinia, an island in Italy. Rhubarb. While rhubarb pies, tarts, and cobblers made from its stalks are very delicious, the leaves of the plant pose a serious health hazard and should be avoided. The stalks of rhubarb are safe to consume, but the leaves contain a high amount of oxalic acid that can cause kidney failure and death in people who consume them in higher quantity. Silver-striped Bossip. Another deadly delicacy, this is an extremely exotic fish originating from the Mediterranean waters and is also found in the Indian and Pacific regions. However, this fish is very toxic. Its skin, liver, and reproductive organs contain a poisonous substance that can make it quite unsafe for human consumption. It can cause muscular paralysis, breathing problems, leading to death in human beings. Giant bullfrogs. Giant bullfrogs are an African delicacy. However, their skin and organs are quite poisonous if they are consumed before they start breeding and croaking. So natives wait for the third rain of the spring season, and only after that they consume these bullfrogs. Otherwise, their skin, legs, and other organs containing poisonous substances can lead to kidney failure and death in human beings. Death cap mushroom. These mushrooms from the wild forest may taste great, but ingesting them, even in small quantities, can be problematic for human beings. Small portions of this fungus can cause bad abdominal cramps, and so it is not good at all for pregnant ladies, as it can lead to missed abortions or miscarriages. They can cause serious problems like vomiting too, which can turn pretty bad. If they are consumed in a large quantity, then the damage to the liver, heart, and kidneys is imminent, and then eventual death. Elderberries. These are delicious ingredients for pies and tarts and some other sweet delicacies. While the berries are safe to eat, the other components of the trees these berries grow on contain alkaloids that produce hydrocyanic acid. Consuming them can make you experience severe vomiting, abdominal pain, and other gastrointestinal issues. Cassava. Cassava is a root vegetable, mainly consumed in the tropical regions, and is a source of great nutritional value. However, it must be eaten only after pre-soaking it for roughly 24 hours. It must be cooked well and should not be consumed in its raw form. Raw cassava contains a high amount of toxic chemicals that can metabolize into cyanide and cause acute cyanide poisoning in human beings. Pangium Aday fruit. The Pangium Aday, or the football fruit trees, are commonly found in the regions of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. This plant, with all its components, including leaves, seeds, kernel, bark, and fruit, has high medicinal and therapeutic properties because of the presence of a large amount of hydrocyanic acid. However, this is exactly the reason why they are rendered toxic for consumption unless they are fermented properly. The seeds are boiled and buried with ash for around 40 days. If unripe or unfermented seeds are consumed, then that can cause tongue swelling, abdominal dissension, vomiting, tongue contractions, and later death too. Hauka. This is the national dish of Iceland. It is basically fermented Greenland or some other sleeper shark with a very rich ammonia smell and taste. The shark is safe to consume only after it goes through a proper fermentation process that involves the beheaded and cleaned shark being covered in sand, gravel, and pressed down by stones for around 10 to 12 weeks. This process is done for curing and removing all its fluids. Later, this cured shark is then cut into strip sections and is hung for several months. Greenland sharks do not have a urinary tract, so they filter their wastes through their skin. This makes their skin and meat extremely rich in urea and trimethylamine oxide. If this shark is not fermented properly, then it can be really toxic because of these harmful substances. Unripe lychee. While ripe lychee is a burst of exotic flavors, like Ackee fruit, unripe lychee can be seriously harmful. When consumed unripe, and especially on an empty stomach, lychee can release chemicals that can block the process of gluconeogenesis. This can lead to low blood sugar levels or hypoglycemia and can hamper brain functioning, causing convulsions, spasms, and in extreme cases, even death. Raw cashews. Cashew nuts are as exotic as they are nutritional. However, eating them raw can be hazardous for your health and life. The raw cashews that you find in the supermarket are also not raw. They are processed and heat treated, so they're safe for consumption. Raw cashews contain a toxic chemical substance called urushiol. This substance is also present in poison ivy. When eaten raw, cashews can cause severe skin reactions and allergies that can lead to death. Almonds are considered one of the safest and most nutritious nuts in the world. However, did you know that consuming a large number of bitter almonds can actually kill you? Well, yes. Despite tasting horrible in the first place, bitter almonds contain hydrogen cyanide that can lower the breathing rate, start shutting down the nervous system, and eventually lead to death. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Have you tried any of the above-mentioned exotic delicacies? If yes, do share your experience in the comments section below.